Hey, 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 it's Goddess Talk with Balaji. How y'all doing this Thursday evening? Today's just been a long day for me. How you doing? Today is Thursday, October 31st. It's a holiday for some people, and for some people it's not, but it's Halloween. We're not going to get dressed up tonight. We're just chilling in our regular stuff. But I have a wonderful guest today. Her name is Mrs. Sanatosha Sewar. Come to the mic, Tosha. How you doing, Tosha?
I am wonderful.
All right, so Tosha, tell us about your company. You have a real estate attorney. You're a real estate attorney.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the name of your company?
Okay, so my law firm is Sewar and Justin, PA.
Okay.
And we are a real estate firm.
Yes.
We primarily focus on landlord-tenant law.
Okay.
And anything that has to do with buy, sell, and refinance of the home.
Okay.
Or property.
Okay.
And also, I'm also a mediator.
Okay.
A civil mediator.
Okay.
So I do civil mediations.
Okay.
As well.
So how did you get into that? Shout out to Sewar and Justin, PA, by the way. But how did you get into that? Just let me know, or let the audience know how you just came into that.
Okay, so I always had an interest in buying and selling property.
Okay.
For
personally,
myself.
yeah,
yes,
make some money
as investment
Yeah.
property. But and so of course that is it. It makes my interest grow even more to be able to, do that for work.
Stuff. Yeah.
Do it for, a little pleasure as well.
Side hustle. Your side hustle.
Yeah. So once I graduated law school, I basically
got into that.
I just dove right in.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
All right. So let's get a background on you first. You are a Floridian.
Yes.
But tell us, where you were born, because, we try to give some highlights to all the different parts of Florida that come through here.
Okay, so I'm originally from Pensacola, Florida.
Okay. Okay. She had a whole shout out for y'all. All right.
So, and then from there, I went to undergrad, FAMU.
Okay. Oh, she bucked at me just now. I just want to let y'all know, if you did not see physically, hold on, let me turn the camera. She looked at me and she FAMU, and I was like, okay, so you went to FAMU, okay?
Yes,
I'll let my other friends from FAMU know that you were here.
Undergrad and graduate school.
Okay.
And then I moved down to Fort Lauderdale to go to Nova for law school.
Okay.
And then my life changed drastically.
Okay.
I got married.
Okay.
Moved to Clearwater, where I am now. And basically that's where I've been ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, being from Pensacola, was the transition to FAMU a little different? Or, because some people may have grown up in a white area and then went to a historically black college. Was your area black and then you just happened to go to a black school? What was the transition for you?
Oh, no. Everything black coming up from elementary all the way up to FAMU.
Okay.
Where the culture shock came was when I went to law school.
Okay.
Because I went to a Jewish law school.
Oh, all right.
So that was different.
Okay.
That was different.
Okay.
But, yeah, going from Pensacola to FAMU was easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now you went to law school. Tell us the experience of law school. Like, number one, being a black woman. What was the demographic like, that you recall? Because you're saying, it was a Jewish law school. But, were you amongst other peers? Like, was there a number of you, or it was predominantly also black women versus black men? What was it like?
It was predominantly white.
Male
and female.
Okay.
The black population, very small.
Okay.
So that was different, especially coming from FAMU.
Yeah.
And then growing up that way.
And then all that.
To that.
Okay.
So it was a little bit difficult to adjust. But, of course, I had just one goal in mind to get through law school. So it wasn't... My goal wasn't to really make friends.
Okay.
So that's why I went with that.
You had your head to the ground. You were going.
I did make some good friends.
Okay.
Though. I did, because there was other black women and men there. So I did make some good friends.
Okay.
But
it was what it was.
It was. It was a very stressful process.
All right. So how long did it take with the whole process from you going from undergrad to law school? How many years was that altogether?
Okay, so I had 4 years of undergrad, and then I also went to graduate school. You don't have to go to graduate school, but I did.
Okay.
So that's the 5th year, and then there's 3 years of law school.
So your master's is in what? Still in law?
No, political science.
Okay.
Yes.
You a poli-sci major?
Yes.
Well, poli-sci master's holder. Okay. We're going to talk about that. See, I told you we had different topics that come through. Because, political, just in general, the political arena is different when you're talking about a lot of different things,
Well, once I did my master's in political science, I realized I don't like political science.
Or politics in general for the most
politics.
part. All right, so then you decided to go to law school. And how many years was that?
3 years.
Okay, so altogether, we're talking about 8 years of schooling.
Yes.
Higher education. And I'm sure you were stressed out like crazy throughout the whole process.
Well, what I did was, after grad school, I did take a year break.
Okay.
So I took a year break, and then I went to law school.
Okay.
And then after law school, I took a year to get my life situated because a lot of things were going on. And then I got into, now I'm ready to practice.
Okay. And so you had the bar exam and all that. So when was that? A couple years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
So I passed the bar in 2018.
Okay, perfect. So then you started your company. And so let's talk about what that was like, because you can be practicing for somebody else and be an employee, you know what I'm saying, or even a contractor with that company, but to go at it from the backside as the owner-operator along with, his name is McKinley?
Yes,
Justin?
McKinley Justin.
McKinley Justin, shout out to Mac.
Yes.
But tell us how that process was. How did you get involved with Mac and just go from there?
Okay. So once I passed the bar, what I did was I got into coverages.
Okay.
And what coverages are basically when other law firms hire you to represent their cases in court.
Okay. So they contracted the work out to you.
They contracted the work out to you. Right. So basically, that's how I learned or taught myself how to practice.
Okay.
So from there, basically, I started off with simple things like pretrial conferences, where you're basically just asking for the judge to continue the case or something. And then once I was comfortable with that, I chose to take on hearings.
Okay.
So now you have to argue why it should go this way or that. And then once I was comfortable with that, I moved on to trials.
Okay.
So, of course, trials, you have to prepare longer, it's more in depth.
You got to study it, research.
While in the process, that's how I met Mac.
Okay.
Because he's also an attorney who's, doing coverages as well.
Okay.
And so we started, chit-chatting about what our interests were and what our goals and stuff was, And then from there, we linked up and we've been together ever since.
Okay, so Sewar and Justin. Shout out the information for anybody who needs it. Tell us a little bit about what services you guys provide. So just give us some general information about what Sewar and Justin PA is about.
Okay, so if you're having trouble with your landlord or your tenant, or if you're looking to buy or sell a home, or basically any type of issue that you're dealing with your property, you can definitely reach out to us online. You can go to our website at www.sjattys.com.
sjattys.com.
Yeah. And our phone number is 833-SJ-ATTYS.
She has such a regular commercial phone number. Give it again because I really laugh by that. Okay. 833
SJ-ATTYS. And the actual number is 833-752-8897.
Okay, so I love it. You see, I told you it's gonna be chill.
Yeah.
So Sewar and Justin.
We have 2 locations too. One is in Brandon. That's where Mac is, and then I'm in Clearwater.
Okay, so actually, Brandon is close to me because I moved to Riverview recently. But I do have. We have a company. I'm actually going to start charting that out soon. But we're doing investments, and we were looking for investment attorneys soon, and that's good that I found that out. I have a plug. See, I be finding people, and I just be telling everybody, like, look, I know a lot of people, but I swear I don't, but I remember I do. So, Sewar and Justin. So, tell us some issues that some people may face, with tenants or with properties, because you have a wealth of experience now. You know, you've been doing it from just the litigation to all that stuff. So tell us some general things, because some people might not think they need you until they hear an example, possibly.
Yeah. As far as from the landlord's perspective, of course, you know, you have tenants who don't pay rent.
Of course. You have the property managers.
Yes.
Supposed to help you take care of that, right?
Yes.
Right.
So pretty much, as far as the landlords, is the non-payment of rent, the basically not maintaining the property or not being clean on the property, or those are basically from a landlord's perspective. From a tenant's perspective, of course, the landlord doesn't want to fix things, or they're allowing pests to get out of control, or they're allowing mold to grow. So with those particular situations, I like, of course, when they call me, the first thing I have to tell them is the lease governs. A lot of us, I'm guilty.
Yes.
Sign the lease
without reading
the leases.
The small fine print doesn't really stick out to me. You know, it's the big part where it says sign here that I look at more so than the little small print. Well, but we're supposed to look at all that and read it. Okay.
And what I learned in law school and after I went to law school is that there are certain things you can negotiate within your lease. Especially if it's just a regular owner, you know, and they're leasing to you. You can talk about things that you don't agree with inside the lease, because the contract governs the relationship. Okay, so could someone reach out to you prior to signing a lease to make sure that the wording and everything is to their advantage or whatever? Yes. Okay. And I particularly would prefer people to reach out to me before. Yeah. So you can tell them what they're walking into, basically. Yeah, tell them what they're walking into, and then sometimes I know that there's a lot of legalese in there that people don't understand. Yeah. And I always encourage people to if you just call and say, hey, Tosha, you know, what does this sentence mean? And I'll tell you, it's not that big of a deal. So consultations, make sure y'all hit them up. We do have 30-minute free consultations, so use it. Utilize what's in front of you. So now, being you guys, you're not new kids to the block as far as, you know, being your experience, but as far as being business owners, how have you found navigating that role? Oh my gosh, that is the toughest part for me personally. Yeah. You know, you get into this and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to start my own law firm, but you're not thinking about the business part of the back end, guys. The back end is the part that really sometimes be breaking us down. Yeah, so it kind of hit me as a surprise when I realized I had to be the bookkeeper, the receptionist, the law clerk, everything. So I'm still getting used to the business part of it. Yeah. So, and, you know, understanding everything as far, because you have to take into consideration taxes, things like that. Every quarter, I just want to let you know, your phone's ringing. Every quarter, they get you with them taxes. I just want to say that. As a business owner, I just want to say I'll be screaming sometimes. I'm like, damn it, leave my money alone. But they get you. They get you. So now with that, you know, you are also a wife and a mother. How do you balance your work and just then also being a business owner? How do you balance all of that, if you don't mind sharing? Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah. Well, I am blessed with a very understanding husband. Good job. So I really shout out to the Black King. I have to give him his props. Where my clap at?
There we go. So
thank you. I was waiting for my clap. But, with that, he really does allow me to. I'll say he is allowing me time to grow. Yeah. Because of course, you know, there's a learning curve as far as being an attorney and also a business owner. Yeah. You know, there's a learning curve. So the beauty of owning my own law firm is that I can make sure there's time in there for my baby and my husband. Okay. So that's of course, my family is of course before the business to me. So yeah, that's the beauty of owning my own law firm and, you know, being in control of my own schedule and my own time. I don't have to miss any
big things.
Or, things because of work. So.
Okay. So we're about to take our first break. See how quickly that goes? But if you guys want to call in and get in on the conversation, we have Mrs. Sanatosha Sewar of Sewar and Justin, PA, here on Goddess Talk on In Touch News. If you want to call in, 813-444-9588. We'll be right back. Hey, y'all.
Okay.
What happened?
Well, I ended up going live from my personal page.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to send them, I'm going to shut this down and come back up on In Touch.
Okay.
That's what
That's
I'll
cool.
on my phone.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? If you guys have any questions, drop the comments. If I find it, I will read it. Ooh, I dropped the phone. But this is Tosha. Say hi, Tosha. And we are here. If you guys have any questions, comments, or if you're not able to hear the feed very well, let us know. But we are live on intouchnews.com still, correct?
Still.
So y'all can definitely go on intouchnews.com. That's NTOUCH news.com to watch live on there if you don't want to be on your phone all the time. Hey Britt, hey Nitra, hey everyone on here. See, we got some familiar faces here.
Yeah, we do.
Shoot. So what topics did you have that you would like to discuss?
Ooh.
You see, I see your notes.
I basically wrote down, I just made sure I listed the things we do.
Uh-huh.
And, I gave one of the tips because, read your contract. That's definitely
Look,
important.
read your contract. Somebody should have told me that in college, too, when I was signing for my scholarship. Shoot, I should have read it. Everybody read the fine print. I don't. I need lawyers.
I think we're all guilty for
Just sign here.
Seriously.
We're print name and signature. That's the two things I look for. Where is it? But nah, you are correct about that part. So
it's the truth.
We'll come back with that one. I'm trying to think. We did mention you being a Delta, so we'll talk about that. What things have you worked on with Delta that have allowed you to...
I've only been a Delta. I'm a baby Delta.
You're a baby Delta.
Yeah.
What year did you graduate from FAM?
From FAMU, 2010.
My daughter was Miss FAMU 2011.
Oh, I was on. Oh, no, I was in grad school.
Kendall, Sunshine.
Really?
That's my daughter.
I know Sunshine. She is so sweet.
I know Sunshine.
Oh, wow. And it's crazy because when you say Kendall, I'm like...
Bring your lease.
Kendall.
Then
when you say Sunshine, I definitely know who Sunshine is.
She's in Africa. All right.
And I knew her before she was Miss FAMU.
Okay,
I will
good.
answer.
Just from being around campus.
Yeah.
If you want to take a trip to Africa, Mr. ENG,
She just took the
contact
LSAT Monday
Jet Black
in
Travel
Miami.
on Instagram.
Okay.
She's in
I know the person who
Nicaragua.
runs that page.
And
Okay,
she
so
flew to
Jet
Miami
Black
to take
Travel
the test and then flew
on
back to
Instagram.
Nicaragua.
Contact them. They may
She
be
works for the State
helping
Department.
with traveling. All right.
And Calvin, she married him.
I didn't even know she was married.
Calvin
It's been
Hayes.
a while.
It's been a while.
I've been FAMU in like
So-
10 years now.
Shit, Daryl.
That is about correct. I just realized how many years ago I graduated undergrad, and I was like, oh, we're back. Here we go. Welcome back to Goddess Talk on In Touch News. This is Balaji with our wonderful guest, Miss Tosha Sewar.
Hi.
Hey. Of Sewar and Justin, PA. And again, run down what Sewar and Justin, PA is about.
So we are a real estate law firm.
Mm-hmm.
And what we focus on, our primary focuses are landlord-tenant law,
Okay.
real estate transactions from buy, sell, and refinancing of the property,
Okay.
and also mediations is what I do.
Okay, and this is a question, are you guys only practicing in Florida, or how can anybody anywhere reach you within the U.S., I'm guessing?
Okay, so the way it works is you can't practice a law in another state unless you've passed the bar in that state.
Oh,
So, yes, only
Child.
in Florida.
Let me ask this next question then. How much does it cost to take the bar exam in Florida?
Oh my gosh. The entire thing.
My eyebrows already raised. Like I'm waiting for this answer.
Well, okay, it's been a while. If I'm not I know it's more than 1,000. the total,
for the process.
Yes, for the process.
To be evaluated and considered, and then to be administered the test, and then
it's been a little minute for me, so I can't even remember I probably don't want to remember.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's between $1,000 and $1,500. And then every year, of course, I have to pay bar dues, which are about $260 something.
So if you don't pay your due,
and then I still have to do CLEs to keep my license, which are hundreds of dollars to take. So
you're certified. You certified.
We don't charge these prices for.
No,
take it all.
Yeah, but geez, it does really show that you're diligent in keeping, number one, your license and making sure that you're able to practice, because I'm sure some people out there who practice without.
Oof, I hope not.
Yeah, but I'm sure they are. But you know that what's that little quote that if you were listening to a commercial, I'm a non-attorney spokesperson. I really listened to that. I was like, what does that mean? But tell us what that means. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson. That's like a clause.
Attorney spokesperson. Basically, they're advocating for the firm or for whatever they're advocating for.
Yeah.
But they're not an attorney, so.
That always cracks me up. I was just like, this is not attorney spokesperson. It's like, it's real quiet too, just to let you know, like,
they're trying to say, we're not lawyers, but hey,
don't hold us liable for whatever you decide to do with us. Oh, that's so funny. So, drop the information. The website for Sewar and Justin is what? Because I really laugh. I love this.
So and that was on purpose, by the way. It's for future. You think
future tense. I got you. ATTY. I got it.
Yes. So the website is www.sjatty's.com.
Okay.
And the phone number is 833-8SJ-ATTYS.com. It's the phone number.
Oh, sorry. My mind blank.
The actual numbers are 833-752-8897.
Okay, cool. All right, so y'all make sure y'all hit up Sewar and Justin because they got a couple different services that can help basically anybody who's going through the process. I do have a friend who's literally about to put her home up for renting. You know, she just moved, and she's going to have a property manager. And there's going to be a whole contract between her and whoever. And it's just like, that's a whole headache.
Well, I think what people don't understand is, like, remember we were talking about reading the fine print?
Yeah.
I don't think people completely understand how much the contract governs the relationship. It can actually give, you can actually give up a lot of your rights that the laws are giving you.
Yeah.
Just sign them right away in the contract.
And it's real crazy to me because the community that I live in, it's a new build area, right? So I thought, and most of our neighbors thought, because there's this Facebook group for our neighborhood, man, they be talking a whole bunch of junk on there. But I really don't go in there. But sometimes you see complaints from the tenants, and it's like, hold on, this is a new build. Don't they have the Florida homestead law that you have to maintain your house or be within your home for a year before you can really lease it out to anybody?
Well, it depends on it. When I tell you, it really depends on the contract. It depends on if there's an HOA involved.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So that's why everybody was upset. Like, well, the HOA should do this, and I'm like, I don't know, because I'm on my business.
You need to read that HOA contract.
Let me talk about that HOA contract. That thing is a lot of pages.
See, but that scares you away from reading it.
I did read it.
Just read a couple. Oh,
I did. But let me tell you, it was tedious.
Oh, yeah.
It was tedious.
It's tedious, and then a lot of it you probably, even though you read it, there's still things you don't understand.
I went over it, and it went over some of it went over my head, but then some things stuck out, like I have a covered lanai, right? And in order to get it screened in, I had to get permission from the HOA. I was like, hold up.
For my property?
For my property. But then it was other things. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy. But to get it screened in, but it's already a lanai, so it's common sense that it would be screened in eventually. But no, you have to go through the HOA. You have to give them a couple bids for this person and that person. I was like, y'all crazy.
And that's why a HOA is almost like a government.
It really is. So it really is.
It probably would behoove you to try to get on the board or go to the meeting so you know what's going on in your neighborhood.
And that was another thing. So now they have the CDD as well. And like they told us, the community, that basically none of us could get on the board until either all the homes were built and 5 years after the last built. It was a whole situation, and everybody is like, yo, man, we need to get this done and get these people kicked out of. I was like, look, let me just mind my business over here.
So you're probably going to get some petitions.
Yeah. It's like a whole situation.
It's like a little...
Because the company that's running the HOA and CD, oh, man, they want to get rid of them.
HOAs are like that, and also condominium associations are like that. They run the building.
And they will give you a notice.
Oh, yeah.
It's like your grass is growing over the side. What?
Somebody, and you will pay a fine for that grass.
Somebody posted that. I was like, excuse me? The grass is basically, it just edged onto the sidewalk. It wasn't on the sidewalk. This wasn't mine, but then I guess because, you know, it gets hot in Florida, and there was this, I won't say a drought, but it really like burned all the grass for a lot of people. And my grass was flourishing. Mine was great. I was just like, look, I got that problem. But then all of a sudden, randomly, I had a patch. And it was like, I didn't even notice the patch. And I'm like, hold on, did this person really walk through my yard to find this one patch? They sent me a whole letter. I was in Jersey at the time, came back. And I was like, if you don't get the... And I literally, so I had to call somebody to get it fixed or whatever, because it was a drought. What do you expect to happen?
Well, I get calls for... about HOAs as well. And of course, it goes right back to the contract because you have to see what you agreed to.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're well within their rights to fine you for that patch.
Daggone patch. But I got through the patch. Yeah. I didn't have to pay anything. But I was like, look, somebody's coming to take care of it. So I need y'all not to send me another notice. Because I wasn't even in town when it happened. Then there was another one where they sent somebody, they left the trash can out there for more than a day. I think the person had traveled out of town. Man,
well, what you need to do is make sure that your HOA is doing what they're supposed to do.
Oh no, that's why I'm saying. That's why my neighbors be on top of the HOA, because it's like, oh, y'all want to send us notices about stuff? Let me show y'all. I just go in there and I'll just scan through, and I'm like, yo, these people really got nothing better to do.
Well, honestly, it comes down. It becomes a tit for tat.
Yeah, it does.
And for me as the attorney, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Because now you're just trying to get back at the other person versus, let's just work this out. The mediator in me always wants to, like, work it out. Like
something about the pool, something about this. Oh, the grass. Well, there's, like, a common area grass, and we have a lake there, and they're not mowing the lake area.
Purposely... On purpose.
Ignore people?
Avoided the HOA when I decided to buy a home.
The next one I do, I just want to buy a land and just do my own thing. Well, I don't want to deal with it.
The only thing is when you don't have an HOA, the neighborhood is probably not as nice because the HOA keeps the neighborhood.
Yes. So that was the thing, because I was like, look, if I'm going to actually go through the process and buy a house, I want a nice house. And I want a nice area. Right. And I don't want any, F shit stuff. You know what I'm saying? I still didn't do it. I really tried it. But it still came out. Sorry. But I don't want none of that crap going on. But at the same time, the HOA does give you a headache if you aren't doing what you're supposed to. Right. Like me, my lawn guy comes weekly. I take care of whatever I need to. So I literally, most people don't even know I live there because I mind my own business. Yeah. But some people really be all up in everything.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the ones who are calling you, I'm guessing. So you're busy. You're busy. So now, what was another topic that you had that you were saying that you guys work on or do?
Well, what I wanted to do was tell... The only thing that I would like to tell my future clients...
Okay, future clients, listen. Y'all listen.
Is when you do have an issue with your landlord or your tenant, and you decide to voice that or try to solve it with your landlord and tenant, get everything in writing.
Document.
I can't work with he said this and she said that. So I can work with a text message. I can work with an email. Even if you talk on the phone, you follow it up with an email to put it in writing. So basically, if we talk on the phone, he said, and the landlord says, I'll fix this.
Yeah.
You just send a nice little
email. Yeah.
As per our conversation. conversation.
Yeah.
You said you're going to fix this. I know.
That is so funny. But Tim Cameron asked where y'all located, and you said you two have 2 locations.
Yes. So one location is in Brandon, and the other is in Clearwater.
And this is in Florida, Tim
Yes.
Cameron. I don't know where you watching Goddess Talk from, but just drop your location because we appreciate all our followers and listeners.
Yes, we do.
But yes, we do. Yes, we do. And be a future client for Sewar and Justin, PA. So everything is documentation.
Yes. So I definitely get a lot of clients calling in, and even their lease is oral, an oral lease.
Oh yeah, because it's just like, oh, I'll rent it to my friend or my cousins, and you're gonna pay me this amount, and then you don't get paid.
And those are usually the ones that crash and burn the fastest. So just get it in
Yeah.
writing, even if it's a 1-pager, you just kind of handwrite it. Something needs to be in writing. That way, when there's an issue that comes up, you have something to let the judge know. This was the agreement. They breached the agreement.
Okay. And so now let's talk about the core. Oh, shoot. You see how quickly this thing be going? But we're about to take our second break. This is Goddess Talk. If you want to call in, 813-444-9588. We're here on In Touch News. We'll be back. That music, I was like, what? It came so quickly. What was the next question I had for you? I want to talk about what litigation looks like once you get from, I can't resolve this. So it's mediation. You try to mediate first, above all things, to come to some kind of agreement.
We definitely talk about why I think mediation, and not because I'm a mediator, because I'm a litigator too, so either way I benefit, really. But
either way I'm going to get paid. One way or another, my money going to come in.
But I would highly recommend mediation because you can, you
could get over it.
Yeah, you can work it out, probably, most likely everything. A lot of times it's just about a misunderstanding.
Okay, so let's not talk about it too much because I want to make sure that they get it on when we get back on there too.
Okay, cool.
But you practice other law too, or just real estate?
For friends and family, I'll do a little bit of
pro bono
tickets.
stuff. Yeah, okay.
No, they pay.
It's
traffic.
Pro bono is free then.
Yeah, pro bono is free.
Pro bono. Well, I didn't know what pro bono was.
So why real estate?
I just like initially it was because I wanted to learn for myself.
You taking questions away from the audience, sir.
Well, but
make sure you remember.
I will.
I did, but he's expanding on it. Don't forget, everybody else who's listening.
I'm so sorry.
If you are planning to rent your home, can her firm produce the lease for the landlord? That's a good question. Nitra asked that.
Yes.
So when we get back online, I'm gonna ask that question and have her answer it and go into that as well. See, I love the audience interaction, y'all.
Me too.
Let's just clap it up for y'all. Here on Gotta Talk. What's going on? Did you get back online on Facebook? Welcome back. This is Goddess Talk on In Touch News. This is Balaji with Sanatosha Sewar. Can I get a clap? No. All right, Tosha, we are back. Before the break or during the break, we had somebody ask a question on Instagram. I'm going to read it out to you, and you just answer that for them. If you are planning to rent out your home, can your firm, Sewar and Justin, produce the lease for the landlord?
Yes. Yes, we can produce any type of contract that you need in the entire process of renting or buying. Okay.
And I also asked the question, do you only do real estate as far as your currently for your firm? Are you guys going to expand into other practices, or is it just real estate right now?
Well, I think the goal for the law firm is to be basically like a one-stop shop for real estate. So right now, even though we do landlord and tenant and buy and sell, there are other areas. Actually, I've done a little bit of dabbling into the other areas like code violations. And basically when someone fixes something or you hire someone to fix something and then they mess it up. I've had a little bit of
those issues.
Those are
electrical, really, wiring, and all those things go into that.
Those type of issues can be a mess. And I've done a little bit, like I was trying to explain to you, with just for family and friends, little things like traffic tickets. I'll do that for them. That's
so if I had a speeding ticket going 100 on, what is this, 75, you can help me out with that? Okay. Look, and Mr. Darrell had a question.
I got a question.
You got a question?
Yes, I do. Attorney Sewar, welcome to In Touch Radio and Goddess Talk. Glad to have you here. I have a home that I would like to rent to a commercial real estate firm. Do you have any recommendations on renting out your home to a firm like that?
Well, I hate to keep saying it, but it always really goes back to the contract. So if you have specific things that you would wish to come out of the relationship, make sure that is in the contract. Make sure you read it, definitely, but make sure everything that you're trying to get from the relationship is definitely in writing in the contract, and that you understand.
Do they approach you, or are you approaching them? I guess that's the question.
Well, I will be approaching them.
Okay.
I want to, instead of doing an Airbnb, I want to try and lease my home to a company an executive firm that leases out to executive homes, something like that.
Is it a property management or?
Well, you know what? I would imagine it would be. I just know that if when families come into town and they need a short-term stay, instead of looking for like a residency in, they're actually looking to.
That's Airbnb.
Yes, it sounds like Airbnb.
You just want somebody to take care of it for you instead of you having to take care of it.
What I want a commercial. A big corporation to lease my home, 1 year, 2 years at a time, so that when they hire executives that come into the Bay Area, they'll put them in my home for a period of time.
Okay.
Versus Airbnb in and out, in and out, in and out. I just got one family in my home for, let's say, a year.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking for. And so I guess my question is do I need to go in with my own contract or just go in with my own terms?
Well, if you haven't approached them yet, you probably want to see if they would want to do the business. Usually, I'm pretty sure they're going to probably try to get their attorney to draft it. And if they do have a contract, then you just take that contract and bring it to your attorney to make sure it's in your favor as well. It's going to be something, it's give and take, in a contract relationship. So there's going to be things that favor them, and then there's going to be things that favor you, but you want to get your main things in there, so you always, even if someone else presents you with a contract, you always get your attorney to read it over for your benefit as well, because if their attorney drafted it, of course it's going to be,
So speaking of Airbnb, is there anything that you would recommend to an individual that's leasing their home to Airbnb that they need to be aware of?
I haven't really heard any bad things about Airbnb.
Just make sure you actually legit have a location, because that's one thing that, there are some fraudulent people there who are saying this kind of property, and you show up and it's not that.
Okay.
They say that they have this amount of rooms and you may not have that same amount of rooms. The scenery and certain things, like they could, but they've been working to work out those terms. There have been some racist issues with certain people who didn't want to lease it to certain people.
Gotcha.
You got there and they treated you some type of way. So it's just making sure that you know what you want to get out of the relationship, as she said. But is that your question?
And lastly,
okay.
Since you went to FAMU, I have two daughters that graduated from FAMU.
He's gonna make sure you know this. Just want to let y'all know.
My youngest girl I told you about was Miss FAMU, Kendall Sunshine Johnson, Hayes now, and then my middle girl is Tamina Johnson, who's now a doctor. But why real estate? Why did you choose real estate versus some other kind of law?
Well, initially, as I was explaining to Balaji, it was a personal thing. I wanted to learn more about the entire process for myself. But then once I got it,
loved it.
I just loved it.
Yeah.
I like everything about it, and also I like helping the people who have the issues that they have with their landlord or their tenant. One thing that I've actually come across is that the elderly people, I do not like when people take advantage of elderly.
Of course not.
So I have been getting a lot of elderly people, whether they're in apartments or
Mm-hmm.
like the 55 or 65
Yeah,
in
those communities, yes.
or even mobile home communities,
Mm-hmm.
like the landlords
Yeah.
will take advantage of them sometimes. So I always encourage them to just call me. I don't mind reading things for them.
And it's not even just calling you, making sure that their children, whoever is assisting them to get into that, will also call you, because they're just like, okay, mom, dad
Just
need 55. Yeah, they, not saying they dropped them off, but there's a 55 plus community. Just go in there and get something. But you do encourage them to call you.
Yes,
just talk
I
to you.
definitely encourage them to call me because it's very common,
Mm-hmm.
and they just don't understand what's going on in the contract, or even the simple, oh, I'll Google it.
Yeah. Don't Google everything.
But even
Look.
don't Google everything, but some things you can find the
Yeah.
answer. But then when you have an individual who's 65 plus,
Mm-hmm.
they don't even sometimes
They don't
even
have
know.
access to
Yeah.
that stuff.
Do
So,
you find a lot of older people going into bankruptcy with their homes?
I don't do bankruptcy, so I don't.
So that's a different whole new game.
Are you
Ain't there
talking
yet.
about foreclosure?
For real estate.
Okay, so foreclosure. I never, and I actually do some foreclosure stuff, and I didn't even realize that I do have a lot of older people that are going into foreclosure. I'm not sure of the reasons why, but I have seen
It's their income.
Yeah,
Their income changes at that time. You look at the whole, just in general, what's going on with the government, the IRS, and you worked X amount of years, you paid into your Social Security, and then what happens with your Social Security? Now they're trying to get rid of Social Security. So for someone my age, I'm 31, I've been working since I was like 16. I've been paying into this stuff, and then, okay, now I'm a business owner, and, if your accountant told you to take an owner's withdrawal from your, the salary and everything, you had to make sure that you were still paying into the Social Security and other things. A lot of people don't know those things, and I would say definitely I'll bring my accountant back up here so she could talk to people about that so that they can avoid that. Having a financial advisor, which I do have as well. I just set up a whole Roth IRA, and we're now doing investments. It's a whole situation now to make sure that those kind of situations do not happen later on in life. Like, it's really crazy. Two comments here. One guy, his name is Pendulum Writer, sorry. He says, exactly, the attorney is for the company, not for you. So basically, you are representing whoever is coming to you.
Yes.
And so your interests are for your client, period. Whoever it may be. All right, cool. So good comment, Pendulum. My dad just logged in. Hey, what's up? And Nitra said that's elderly abuse. Yes, it is. Like, my parents want to definitely come down. I'm talking about them now. But they want to come down from Jersey to Florida once they're, retired and everything. And my dad was like, yeah, look for a 55 plus community for us. And I'm like, I don't know about all that, because I don't trust everything, because working in the field, I also have my company in Jersey where we work with people with developmental disabilities, and some of them are elderly.
Yeah.
And sometimes you put those individuals in a group home or certain things, they're in those 55 plus communities. You can't have your adult child who may just be out from college there to visit for X amount of days.
Like
you can't
HOA.
park. It's really sometimes worse.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's just find a whole regular apartment or condo or townhome, or just let's buy another property for you guys. Y'all stay here in my place and I get another one, But that is something that you would probably bring to an attorney to look over those terms.
Definitely look over the terms.
Okay.
And like we said before, the HOA
It depends.
In a 55 or 65 and up community. Of course, they have rules and regulations, and why would you not let my child come?
But I have clients who literally they may be the one that's disabled, right? And their parent isn't, but their parent meets the criteria to live in that community. But it was just a whole issue. They didn't want them. Oh, you can't have a car here for this. He can't get, it was just such an issue. And eventually, I believe they did end up getting kicked out of that community because of the issues.
And that's why it's very important to know what you're getting into before you get into it. Because I'm pretty sure she probably wouldn't have chosen that property if she had
that might just been all that was available for her too.
That's
because
true.
There's certain income things that you can get into. And now talking about the elderly, but actually there was another question on this on our Facebook Live. So Robin said, do you deal with disputes between homeowners and property managers? If the property manager mismanages your home or tenants. So let me read that again.
Yes.
Do you deal with disputes between homeowners and property managers if the property manager mismanages your home or your tenants?
Yes, and that relationship goes right back to the contract.
Okay.
So if I'm not sure what that particular issue
Yeah.
is, but if they're mismanaging or if they're not doing something that you believe should be done within the relationship, then it probably would be best to just go back in the contract and see exactly which part is violating the contract. And you can probably even just write them a letter and tell them you are violating this part of the contract and,
Pay up.
Yes.
Pay up.
Do what you're supposed to do.
All right, Robin, if you have another question, drop it. But now also to go back to, the whole situation with elderly abuse, because Nitra dropped that. How have you seen that play out, other than maybe some bankruptcies or some foreclosures? You don't deal with bankruptcies, I'm sorry, you deal with foreclosures for the most part, if you've seen those. How have you seen that play out in the court altogether?
Well, I've noticed that a lot of...
Ooh, sorry, pause, we're about to take our last break. Okay. It is you see how quickly it came? Y'all want to call it to In Touch News to get part of this conversation on Goddess Talk, 813-444-9588. We'll be right back. Our conversation, you see, I was like, hold up, pause. We'll be back. So the next segment we'll talk about just the courthouse proceedings and all that. See, you good? You got another question?
Yeah, I do, about doing big commercial real estate ventures.
I'm getting into commercial, yeah.
I only actually have done one commercial anything. Commercial property is a little bit different than real estate property, so it has its own
rules and regs.
Rules.
Do you partner with another firm? Okay.
Not as of right now.
Okay.
I haven't.
For the most part, you guys can figure it out and research and do what you need to do. I'm guessing if anybody came to you and it's like, oh, well, this is different. I haven't done this.
Litigation is getting sheesh. So I don't know about keeping the litigation part. I like the litigation. It's the back and forth. It's the game. But sometimes it can become a lot.
We'll talk about the stress level of that part.
Now, is your husband an attorney?
No, my husband is a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
I'm just saying, all this black excellence while we're here,
That's good.
just the beautiful family, beautiful love story, black love. Shout out. I'm just always clowning. Let me see. Any other questions?
10 seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7. All right. Welcome back to Goddess Talk on In Touch News. This is Balaji and our guest. Hey, Tosha.
Hey, girl.
How you doing? Tosha is representing Sewar and Justin, PA. Go ahead and drop the information for Sewar and Justin, PA one last time for us.
Okay, if you'd like to reach out to us, you can visit us on our website at www.sjatttys.com. Or you can call us at 833-SJATTYS. That is 833-752-8897.
Yeah, I just love that 833. That came out of nowhere when she dropped it. I was like, 833, because I have an 844 for all my companies, and then it's like 800, 1-800, whatever. Jenny Craig and all them people. So, before the break, because we just realized, oh shoot, we got a break coming up.
Yeah.
We were talking about the litigation side, I mostly brought up the whole elderly side, but just in general, just tell us what it's like once, because you go through mediation first, or you hope to be able to mediate before you go to court, correct?
Yeah, it depends on what type of case it is, but I would always encourage anyone who has a dispute, instead of paying, you know, the court costs and everything to go to trial, try to mediate it first. A lot of things are easily resolved by simple communication, and that's where me as a mediator, that's where I come in. So I would definitely help one side to communicate that with the other side. Sometimes it gets heated, so where I have to break the parties up and still be able to communicate that. And then sometimes, you know, it's no resolving it, and then you have to go to trial, you have to file a claim. But as far as you know, we were talking about foreclosure and you know, when we have elderly people, how's that dealt with in court? You will probably be surprised that a lot of the judges are pretty compassionate. They give them chances. They allow them to have chances to try to fix it. So, and that's great. I think everybody should, if you really want your home, and a lot of people, they spend their entire lives, you know, working to keep that home. You don't want to just take it away so easily, you know. So a lot of times they get multiple chances until
there's nothing else that can be done. Okay, so now mediation just did not work, and we got to go to court. So just explain what that experience can be like, because it is exhausting sometimes to just go back and forth. You got to research and laws and codes and all those things, right?
Yeah. So, okay, so if mediation doesn't work and we have to go to court, litigation is very stressful. A lot of times what makes it the most stressful is dealing with the other side, who's not trying to work with you.
I want what I want.
Or being the tit for tat thing, or, you know, and then you have those clients that won't tell you the truth. And
you discover that crap. Like, so you really just like burn the whole place down. And try to lie, say something happened. So
trust me, I learned that early. So yes, I love my clients, but I have to check behind you. I can't trust what you tell me, and I definitely can't just go in court saying whatever. I have to do my due diligence to make sure that whatever you're saying, we can back it up. And I always go back to that paperwork. I want to see the evidence. I want to see it before I present it. So I want to see the contract. I want to see the lease. I want to see the letters you said you sent. The emails you said you sent. Yes.
How did you word those emails too? You see what I'm saying? How did you really word everything?
No, don't tell me. I want to see.
Yeah, I want to see them. Yeah. But you know.
So basically, it goes back. You know, it goes right back to the evidence and basically my legal research. And by the way, I'll give everybody a little bit of tea.
No. Hold on, let me get where's my water at? I need to sip a little bit. This sounds. Thank you. Okay, I'm ready. What's the tea?
So, the landlord and tenant. For instance, if you feel like you have an issue with your landlord or your tenant, and you really just don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Chapter 83 will give you everything you need. Chapter 83 of Florida statutes will give you everything you need from that. If you don't understand something, then you need to find an attorney from there.
All right, so repeat. What's Chapter 83 for again?
Chapter 83 are the Florida laws that govern real estate and tenant law.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so y'all need to know what you're getting into before you get into it. Check out Chapter 83.
Yes.
And just to make sure everybody understands, you are real estate, but not commercial real estate right now, correct? Or you are willing to go into commercial real estate?
I am willing to go into commercial real estate. I'm actually in the middle of a commercial litigation right now.
Okay.
So,
it's not your preference, let's just say that.
It's just different, you know? But I'm learning. So everything has a learning curve, and anytime I've learned this myself. Anytime, you know, I'm learning a different area or moving into a different area, of course, I'm not going to enjoy it. It's just that
it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, but once you get over the learning hump, it's like, bring them. I'll take all.
She got a whole armor on. She's ready to go. So, what's your question, Mr. Darrell?
Well, I was thinking about the when people come in and take an abandoned home. What's that called? It was on the tip of my tongue.
It is.
Abandoned homes.
Yeah, they move into the abandoned home and then they try to pay the taxes on it. And,
I do know what it is because
Jesus
I'm actually going to be working on this when we do our investments because we're taking those homes up.
It starts with an A.
You said abandoned. No, that's not it.
Well, no.
I know.
And it's on the tip of my tongue, too, and I can't.
It's not evicted.
Or it starts with an S.
Condemned homes.
No, that's not it. No.
Well, they are condemned, too.
Oh, man.
You can't be there.
Oh, geez.
Okay, is it the ones that they haven't paid the taxes on it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
They've abandoned it. You know, you got all these purviews you have to meet. You have to pay the taxes. You have to upkeep the home. You have to
bring it back up to code.
Yes, all that. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, we don't know the word right now.
Oh, but you know what I'm referring
Yes,
to.
I know exactly. But
Squatters' rights.
No.
Squatters' rights.
Squatters' rights is kind of it. But
squatter is a negative connotation.
No.
Squatter to me is homeless.
No, squatter is someone who comes into your property that's empty.
Yeah.
And stay there long enough for them to claim it as theirs.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes, really.
Oh, we gonna fight.
So a squatter is basically someone who's in your property that shouldn't be there and they're just staying there.
I know there was something in the news a couple months ago how
What
this
do
guy
squatters
literally
have rights?
the family was on vacation.
Yeah.
He moved into their home, got mail sent there, and was actually suing them. They got to the house and he had a gun on him, get out of my house. And it was like, if you don't get the hell
If I'm not mistaken, and I don't want anybody quoting.
Yeah, don't quote.
I'm pretty sure if you're there for 7 years, it's yours. I'm almost positive.
Well, he really had a whole situation and was mad at them for walking up in the house that he was squatting
It's
at.
called adverse possession.
Yes, adverse possession.
I never heard that word.
It is adverse
Okay, so what's adverse possession?
Okay,
in
so
the legal terms?
Adverse possession is basically like he said, you come onto someone's property and you just stay there.
Mm-hmm.
No, even if they see, especially if they see you and they don't say anything, or they could have driven by their property and noticed you and didn't say anything, after 7 years is yours. So another way people always get others by with adverse possession is building a fence, and it's a little bit
into their own
into their property first. So if I build my fence a little bit into your property and you're like, it's no big deal. After 7 years, that's mine now. You can't go back.
Oh, that space is yours, or
space,
my whole property is yours?
No, just the space that I've taken.
Oh, okay.
So that's basically what adverse possession is.
Wow, that's a lot.
And it's been a while since I've read over the adverse possession statutes, but I'm almost sure it's 7 years.
All right, so we want to thank you for being on Goddess Talk,
Thank you
Tosha. We are coming to a close, but before we go, I just want to remind you guys that December 13th, we have Gods and Angels, the Melanated Met Gala experience coming to Tampa Bay, Florida. All right, and we're having 2 wonderful artists coming down from D.C. We have Blue Robin and Art Testimony. We have a wonderful harpist coming down. We have a whole show ready for you guys. So make sure you go online to Eventbrite and get your tickets. All right, we have VIP and we have sponsorship tickets as well. So I just want to make sure everybody shows up because Tampa always tells me that y'all want stuff like this down here. I brought it. Make sure y'all show up, okay? But this has been Goddess Talk on In Touch News. We'll be back next Thursday at 7 p.m. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Be safe.